Hey everybody, Dan here for Argo Comics, where we do not just publish independent comics, we support independent comics. I have picked up a few independent comics that I will be going over here. This is just a haul video, it's not a full review. I just show you what I picked up, show you why I picked up, and we want other people to pick these up. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and let's get some more exposure for all these great books. I've been a little absent as of late, being that I had to fulfill the latest Thunder Zone Kickstarter. I don't like to just let that sit. I like to get that rolling, get the books into everybody, and we had digital fulfillment and physicals on the way. They're all at the printer, shipping directly from the printer. So just want to get back in the swing of things. This isn't a particular 1 month of books, and this is actually what I had just, in arm's reach. So I do have some more books that I'll include in the next one. I just have enough here already that's going to take a little while. This actually came in the current Kickstarter book, Eternal. Okay, this came in as a preview. Well, I guess back in the day we'd say ash can, but this is large, much larger than an ash can. It's a preview copy, and as it was sent in for review, I did give it a read, unlike most of the books that I'm going over. And we basically have this hero called Eternal. Trying to see if we have, yeah, there we go. Immortal Comics. Okay. And pretty simple on the credits. Brian Lee Faze doing the writing, penciled, ink, lettered, and co-scripted. Vince White, who at one point, as we know, or viewers of mine might know that he had the Powerverse a while back. So he did the art and co-writing on this, and yeah, the art is very good. Lettering is good. Everything. The story starting out, it seems interesting. Kind of gave me Boys vibes when I saw them giving shots to people. And yeah, Eternal himself, I think, is a pretty cool design. And basically, again, as I had read this, it seems like some agency was giving a virus shot to people in a, let's see, Global Health Ascendancy was the organization, and this was happening in Timbai, which is in West Africa. So they were given shots. Apparently the shots might have actually not had the best results. I think, probably thinking they can get away with some illegal research with these shots. So the hero came in. I don't want to spoil the story. The hero intervened. And then I have a bunch of unlettered pages that followed. I guess everything's still in production as of the time of the Kickstarter. the hero seems to draw power from electricity. And then we, from there, kind of went into this scene that seems to be like Frankenstein. Um, so again, not having a lettering or something, but I think the character's origin might be tied to Frankenstein. I have a theory on that based on more of the art here, but I won't, again, go into any spoilers. But it is currently on Kickstarter, so I'm sure if you just type The Eternal in there, you will get the book to show up. And there's a whole campaign, a video, I believe, so you can check that out on Kickstarter. Okay, talking of Kickstarter, I had this book, Ginger Thin, #1. The first issue, it's a Ginger Thin special, because I think there might have been another one. There's a, well, as you can see from the ad on the back, Rat House, Tim Tyler's company. There's a variety of books. So Ginger Thin was in something, but this is an anthology, as a few of the Rat House books are. Rat House magazine right there. You know, as I said, I showed you this. You can freeze frame that and look into, again, Kickstarter is going to be the place where you're going to find the Red House books. This one, you can see there are 4 stories there. Tokyo Joe, Danger Angel, Amazo, The Jungle Breeders, Report Outlook Grim. And Tim is a creator who I followed for a long, long time. As I've always said, Fathom Comics was my introduction back in the day. And that was before there was a Fathom coming out through Top Cow and Image. And they were all, many of these characters have been brought back in this line of Rat House: Blood Rain, Fiends, Hades, or Hades. And Tim has a great style, art, inks. When he does colors, I love the colors. This happens to be black and white. You can see this kind of Voltron looking dude. Just very impressive work every time from Tim. He's usually a one-man operation, written and illustrated by Tim Tyler. So that kind of does it. He does ink covers for Sky Owens, who's on Indie Planet. I pick up those books. Sky Owens is a great creator as well. So Tim lends his great inks to that. Talking of inks, Tim has also collaborated with Tim Visual, doing inks for him. And occasionally there'll be covers and such for Red House from Tim Vigil. Amazo. Let's see. Yep, this is fine to show. Some kind of good girl art in here. But each and every one of the stories is always engaging, with great art and high production value. And it's always something to look forward to. So any Kickstarter that he puts out, I'm backing. And myself, I enjoy physical copies. I don't really read digitally. So I'm always happy to get these in the mail. And again, Ginger Sin Special, #1. Jumping into another Kickstarter. There's a lot of Kickstarter. Killaroo, The Four Horsemen, No Remorse. There was a Killaroo Four Horsemen book before. There's a second, I guess, crossover collaboration. Killaroo is that kangaroo-looking dude on the bottom. The four guys are the Four Horsemen, and above them is a villain. Stuart Black is the writer, artist, and letterer. Darren Close, he's the editor and selected inks, and he's the one who brings in Killaroo. Jonathan Torres does the back cover, kind of a, I'd say more cartoon style, like almost animated style. So this is, again, Stuart Black, who I've reviewed a number of times in the haul videos for the Four Horse Femmes. So this is the Four Horse Men, which is, they're not in a regular book like the Four Horse Femmes, who have quite a number of issues, all done by Stuart Black, who does just fantastic work in art, colors, letters, but also in just his the writing. He always has a great storyline going and a great balance of humor, action, characterization. Really, really a great creator. Whose work I've really enjoyed. So it's full color, and it's not a regular size. So perhaps if you, okay, it's Oz Comics, Furious Monkey Fist. So those are the two companies coming together for this. They are Australian based. G'day, mate. Everyone loves my Australian impression. So you can look up those companies on Kickstarter, and you're going to come across their past books, and hopefully you can hit a notification for their next Kickstarter and support some great indie talent. I'll keep it rolling on Kickstarter. With Silverline Team Up, okay? The credits right there. Okay, Roland Man, the writer, he's driving force behind Silverline, going back to was it Malibu or Cell with Cat and Mouse. This character, Demon's Tales, was a book. Paul Pelletier did that one. Stephen Butler did art for them. Mitch Bird did Cat and Mouse. Stephen Butler might have done Silver Storm, which was a great title back in the day. So even though this is Champion and Miss Fury, Champion's not on the cover. That's the Demon. And let's see, Champion is in the book though. Get a picture of him. Well, he's kind of out of costume, most of it. See, there was a panel that had him kind of unconscious in his mask. Champion right there. As I said, Roland Man did the writing. Peter Clinton, penciler. Brian Dale, artist. Thomas Florimonte is an artist as well. Roberta Conroy is a colorist. So whatever combination was used, it's great art throughout. Colors, lettering, all very professionally done. Of course, Roland and his crew have a good amount of experience to make a highly polished looking book. Really some great action shots. Love seeing Demon back in the saddle. And again, I haven't read these books, but when it comes to the haul videos, it's kind of like, what am I gonna, books that I picked up, and usually a lot of times there's just some companies that I'm just looking to back. That's some other Silverline books. And I actually had gotten another Silverline book, I believe in just regular solicitations and previews. Trump's number 4. Okay, Trump's being a playing card motif type of book. Roland Man writer, Peter Clinton penciler, Thomas Florimonte inker, Sid Van Blue colorist, Brian Dale letterer. See, and I got the books printed at Kablam, where I print my own Argo comics. One of the artists here, inker Thomas Florimonte, he is involved in that company. So they really do a great job in getting these books, I guess, cropped to a great full bleed. And they really know what they're doing as far as I said, making a great looking comic. And even that's an added step that a lot of companies don't have, is the experience in the printing aspect of it, to kind of because there are mistakes made in books. You'll see an occasional cropping of lettering or a blank page that they didn't know that pages are multiples of 4. But you're not going to get that with this company, which leads me to say, make mine Silverline, as they are fond of saying. And apparently I follow that edict. All right. Now, the only book I get in Patreon, YEET, which is quite simple to get on Patreon. You go to Patreon, look up YEET, and when you join up for that, they're just going to charge you the $5 when the book comes out, and you'll have it mailed to you each and every time. And 10 cents? Well, maybe not, but that's a retro cover there. Going with that, because as you can see here, this is approved by old guys who like old comics. So those old guys can remember the 10-cent comic. I think I can remember the 20-cent comic, but so I qualify as an old man, but not as old as the people who, I guess, picked up 10-cent comics. YEET is an anthology. Sometimes there's some color. This issue is black and white. This issue has a Western motif. We have a first story with a Western hero. a pinup. Like Luttrell, that's Shane Luttrell, I think, because I've seen his work in YEET before. Some more pinups. So there's always a great variety of stories and styles in YEET. So nicely done. Another story. Yeah, here's even a pinup by William Mesner's Lobes, inked by Dave Sim. So that's a unique collaboration there. Another very cool pinup. On the other side, we have the Widow. The Widow story. Oh, I guess this is the Widow right there. Even though she's wearing black, I'm sure they didn't want to go with Black Widow. Another Widow story. Let's see, we have a little Black Fury illustration, and Black Fury is actually just the way they're making this a Western issue. We have a Black Fury, an issue concentrating on Black Fury coming up. Rob Cox did some pinups. And we have some pinups by John Mueller and Kent Clark. And we have an ad for a book that I've been showing on these indie hauls, Improbable Girl and the Wonder Kitty. I have more of that to read and go over, so I will do that and have that back in our Indie Monster haul. Okay. Kickstarter, I had a sketchbooks by 3 artists, Fred Bennis, Leandro Oliveira, Oliveira, and Marcelio Sousa. So these are Brazilian artists who put out these sketchbooks. Fred Bennis, brother of Ed Bennis, who's done a number of projects for DC. Fred is also just an amazing talent. I do have a upcoming cover from Fred Bennis. I have the cover in already. I just have to get the interiors of the book done. Then I'll be able to put that. That's a book that'll be going through Kickstarter. Here's some Fred Bennis work. Really beautiful. Leandro Oliveira. All just super talented artists. I mean, Brazil is really a mecca of comic art. And Marcelio Sousa. Whose style, to me, goes more in like a J. Scott Campbell direction. Really nice stuff. Those are all Kickstarter and more Kickstarter. This is like the Kickstarter episode, it seems. Um, I got in a discussion actually about what books I'll back on Kickstarter. Um, I do a number of Kickstarters myself with Thunder Zone and Argo Comics. And basically, in discussing that, I kind of stated that I like the books to be completed. So if people are, and I know the spirit of Kickstarter originally was get the money to raise money to get the artist and colorist and pay all these people and get the book done. Uh, but there's been the occasion where if you didn't have that money to begin with, unfortunately, these Kickstarter funds might be sitting there and your bills might be coming in. And I'm not in favor of the unfulfilled Kickstarter book. So, uh, in my mind, fund that first one yourself and then use those funds to pay the artist and the colorist and the letterer for your second issue. Okay. So, and then you should be rolling from there. Uh, but also, uh, unless I'm a kind of a rabid fan of the creative team or, the project itself, I'm not so high on the $20 comic. Uh, and yes, that's a $15 comic and $16 shipping, being a $21 comic. I'm including the shipping because, again, in running it myself, I'll make available numerous books at one time, save on the shipping, but even without buying numerous books, just buying one book, I'm not really at the $21 stage. Um, so it does, I mean, for someone buying quite a few books here, as you can see through this video, um, those concerns just, I have a lot to read already that I haven't gotten to. So to give a new book a chance on that is going to be very rare. Um, but here's our next book again from Kickstarter. It was Second Shift Doorways. Okay, and it had a number of indie creators involved. Guess you could freeze frame here to see all these characters involved. In that respect, most of the character crossovers are kind of a pinup style. So it's not quite like, everybody's in multiple panels in action or something. It's more like, who's ever appearing is kind of in one panel. I mean, in a crossover pinup and another crossover pinup, which is still very cool, but, just letting people know that is pretty much what's involved. But the Kickstarter's over. And it was a very cool assortment of characters, many of which I was familiar with, and a number of which I was not. But yeah, I like the art. I like the artist who had done it. Let's see. E. Burrison, co-writer. Scott Lust, letterer. Joaquin Pereira, colorist. David Lauch, editor. Stephen Whistler Jr., talent relations. Am I missing? See, co-writer. Might be missing artist, but oh, well, Scott Lust was the co-writer, artist, and letterer. Okay, I missed that part. And I like his art. I like that style. And let's see. Okay. Yeah, I don't see a company name. Sole copyright. Oh, here it is. Second Shift Doorways, I guess, is that's the name of the book. Maybe that's the name of the publisher as well. And that one was from Kickstarter. This was cover 1B. There are a number of covers to pick from. And I kind of liked this one with all these characters. Kickstarter. Thrilling Tales of Vistas Unknown. Okay. This was a Kickstarter book. Came with some, I guess, stretch goal prints. There's your back cover. Story and art by Craig A. Taillefer. Okay. And let's see, I think it's all black and white. Yep. And he has a very classic style. I don't know, for some reason, I think of Alan Weiss and Al Williamson when I see this art. I think it's very, very well done. I think he's a brush inker, it looks like. Because that hair, usually you need a brush to get that type of line. Well, I've seen some people pull it off with a pen. But yeah, so it's a kind of an anthology, even though it's the same creator, of a number of different stories. This one he inked a bit more heavily in black, showing some great inking technique there with the textures. So again, in seeing all the samples, I thought it was a very good style and worth checking out. So, try and just look, I always try to get the company name. Oh, well, let's just go with this. Craig A. Taillefer Comics and Books, and there's the website for you to check it out yourself. All right. Now, let's see, I had a couple books from American Mythology Productions and this book from Udon, The Common Thread. Let me see if he did the interiors. Not on this book. Let me just see here. Yeah, see, on the Street Fighter one. Story Matt Moylan. Art by Matthew Weldon. So Matthew Weldon did all three of these covers I just showed you. And got Florida Man versus Hogzilla by American Mythology. Florida Man, American Mythology. These are all covers by Matthew Weldon, who I'm a very big fan of his work. Let's see. Final Fight seems to be a Street Fighter. And here's some art. I'll get it all in frame. Just some really killer work by him. Colors were by Espen Grundit Jern and lettering Marshall Dillon. Okay, that was Final Fight by Udon. Matthew Weldon also did some work for Merritt Michaels on Kickstarter. Kind of I had it on the Indie Hall, Counterpoint Comics. It was a female Santa Claus book with great Matthew Weldon art. This Florida Man, created and written by Mike Barron, art by Todd Mulrooney, Elias Martin and Marcelo Salazar, who I've worked with as well. Colors Ichan Ansori, letters Warren Montgomery, editor Chris Braley. So this is not interiors by Matthew Weldon, but great cover. And as I've relocated to Florida, figured I'd check out what Florida Man's all about. Florida Man versus Hogzilla. Let's see who did the interiors on this. Well, that is, okay. Written and created by Mike Barron, pencils and layouts, Matthew Weldon, inks, my friend Marcelo Salazar. Colors, Marcio Freire and Kelsey Shannon. Letters, Carlos Manguel. Editor and publisher, Chris Braley. So again, we get more of this great Matthew Weldon. That other book might have been From Pencils to Colors. This has Marcelo Salazar inking. I think he retained the look pretty well. Okay, and that was again American Mythology Productions. Okay, we're finally off Kickstarter. Let's go to Udon here, because we just had an Udon book. Street Fighter and Friends swimsuit special. I know in the solicitation I must have seen some artists who I like in here. Jeffrey Chamba Cruz. He had a great podcast at one point, which I was very into. Let me see who else is in here. Ryan Jampol, Kanto. So there are a number of great more anime and manga style artists throughout. I know this looked good from the images shown, so I jumped in and ordered a copy. And that is again Udon, which is a manga type company, as is to some degree Antarctic Press. Okay, Exciting Comics, who has published a number. Actually, the last Kickstarter I had some Nature Men and Big House Blues. These are things that kind of got chopped up a little bit and serialized in Exciting Comics from Antarctic Press. And I was re-releasing in full issues now, so people can get the bigger picture. This issue, Exciting Comics usually have one or two. It had three at the time when I was in it. Stories going, and this one has Demon Hunter Raven and Fat Girl. This being Demon Hunter Raven. And this being Fat Girl. Okay, so those are your two stories in this issue. Demon Hunter Raven story and art, Nicholas Mueller. Fat Girl, creator and writer John Rhodes. Line art Joseph Olesko. Colors Avery Ferdinand. So that is Antarctic Press. And this book, Gold Digger, War Mistress of Mars, is Antarctic Press as well. 3 of 4 issues. So it's pretty much a not safe for work comic from Fred Perry, who had done over 300 issues of Gold Digger for Antarctic Press. He does everything, story and art. Fred Perry, that's it. And you get all this story art, lettering all by him, master at his craft, and a work ethic second to none, doing that many issues of a book in its entirety. As well as an animated movie he drew himself. Just a number of, there was Steam Wars, there was a number of like Peeboo specials and stuff. He did a lot of work and still got to issue 300 on his own book. Antarctic Press, freakier than normal. Story, Francisco Balbuena. Interior art, Maximo Montero. Inside front cover art, Janssen Carbonell. Cover art, editor, letterer, Darwin Nunez. Translation, Kelvin Rivera. Grammar correction, Brandon Crowther. Who I know from Facebook, actually. So this is more like a very cartoony anime style in this book. But the story did seem interesting from the solicitation, so figured I'd check it out. It's again by Antarctic Press. who've been publishing for got 30 years now, I believe. So, talking of books that hit 300, the only other modern one around as of late, let's see. I have Savage Dragon. I don't know. This is 271. Let's see. Savage Dragons by Eric Larson, published by Image. Jack Morelli letters. Nikos Koutsis colors. Mike Torres flats. Gavin Hickenbottom editor. Josh Eichenhorn Broflake. Okay, and Eric Larson, who, if anyone isn't familiar, created Savage Dragon. And this is actually his son, Malcolm Dragon, who's taken on the mantle of Savage Dragon. And this always continues to be a great book. But I believe there were issues after this, so I must have just had this handy and pulled it out. Cyberforce Image as well. Talent Hunt winners. So they had a talent hunt. These creators must have been the talent hunt winners who created the book. Cyberforce was created by Mark Silvestri. This one's written by Billy Muggleberg. Line art by Bruno Abdias. Colors, John Starr. Letters, Troy Peteri. Cover art, Abdias and Starr. Edits by Michael Hawkins and Alina Salcedo. Okay, and Cyberforce, one of the earliest Image comics when the Image creators rolled out. And then eventually they all had their own, well, they all from the get-go had their own studios, but it's not focusing right now. There you go. Top Cow universe. There was the Extreme universe with Rob Liefeld. Spawn had his own universe with Todd McFarlane. Wildstorm with Jim Lee's universe. So Mark Silvestri had made the Top Cow universe, and Cyberforce was one of the earlier. I think Wetworks from Whilst Portaccio got folded into the Top Cow universe, either out of the Wildstorm, can't recall. But these talent hunt winners definitely did a good job on this, as you can see by the work that was turned in. Top Cow also had Witchblade and The Darkness, which were popular books. Got this trade paperback, Beyond Mortal. Looked good. Dark Horse put it out. And again, just reading solicitation, looking at art. Sometimes I will Google search to see some preview pages if there are any, and it tells me whether or not I want to check out a book. And this one looks very good. Beyond Mortal. I like the art style. Can't particularly liken it to anything, maybe a little Kevin Maguire in there. might see some of that influence. But it's really quality stuff. Uh, Another trade paperback, which I usually get the omnibuses for a Black Hammer. I'm sure this will be in an omnibus, so I'll probably have it twice at some point. Black Hammer, The End. So Black Hammer has had kind of a homage characters to Marvel and DC. See if we got writer Jeff Lemire. First came to prominence with Sweet Tooth, as many know. Artist Malachi Ward. Color flats Brian Davidson. Letter Nate Picos of Blambot. So that's a great talent pool to draw from. Trying to see some art to give you an idea. Superhero books, you always want to show a little art that has some superheroes. Black Hammer has always been a very good read. Jeff Lemire does a great job in writing, and all his artistic collaborators have been very good as well. Talking of great art, art of Rachel and Terry Dodson. I didn't even get a chance to. This is an unboxing video all of a sudden. I'm ripping open this plastic. Terry Dodson usually does the pencils, and Rachel does the inks. And I'm not sure if they're doing their own colors as well. But big fan of their work. Had a pinup from Terry in Sorority of Power, which was very hard to come by. But another bucket list type pinup was achieved. And I don't want to ruin this book, opening it too wide, but oops, he's just done an amazing body of work. Let's see. As well as he's at his own creator-owned properties. Red One has been one of the more recent projects. And Adventure Man. Oh, this is pretty cool. A little creating cover art tutorial for those of us who are art students. Also, most of what I showed you is Marvel, but he's done great DC work as well. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So this book was something I knew I was going to grab. And in that same vein, the aforementioned Adventure Man, Volume 3. This is hardcover. I'm not usually much of a hardcover collector, but that's how he's been putting out Red One. And he's got, you know, this oversized format that I really could soak in the art. Let me unplastic this as well. Right before your eyes. Voila. Yeah, I usually like trades more. But again, being such a big fan of his art, I do enjoy having this larger size. Representation to kind of study. Let's see. Well, this is Adventure Man Volume 3, Ghost Lights. And it is from Image. So, let's see. Matt Fraction is the writer. Terry Dodson, penciler and colorist. So he's been doing the colors. Rachel Dodson, inker. Clayton Cowles, letterer. Leonardo Olia, graphic designer. Let's see. Give you another look at some of the art here, which is just gorgeous. And highly recommend anything Terry Dodson does. As one of the top creators in comics who's still producing story pages as well as covers. That's going to do it for this one. Again, I'm going to ask that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so that we can, spread the word on all these great books. And I'll give you, of course, more updates on what's going on with Argo Comics and Thunder Zone throughout these videos. But for this time, we will say farewell.